Welcome to A Balanced Approach to Business Growth, my brand new playlist for 2025. And if you are a returning visitor, thank you for coming back. In this playlist, you'll find videos for actionable, implementable, is that even a word? Strategies, tips, and advice to help you focus on what truly matters in your business, to help ensure that you're making real progress towards the success that you want to go after, to help you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be in your own incredible way, which is exactly what I'm passionate about doing. Whether you're a solopreneur or growing a team or somewhere in between, this playlist is your resource for turning ideas into outcomes without sacrificing your happiness, your health, your well-being, your evenings, weekends, and relationships. Now, today I want to dive into an interesting little topic. And it's something that is so overlooked in business. And it's such a small little thing, but I know it can make a massive difference to you and your business when you give it your attention. And I want to talk about, I almost couldn't get that out then. I want to talk about today the power of small wins. I told you it was a little thing. And talk about why it's really important to celebrate those wins, probably more important than you realize. So here's the thing, life gets busy. The business gets busy. You get pulled in all directions. You're constantly rushing from one task to the next, ticking off those to-dos, chasing the bigger goals. And it's really easy to get stuck on the hamster wheel of doing, that continuous momentum of movement, but without stopping to pause, reflect, and celebrate what you have achieved. What can also happen is we're waiting for the big stuff to happen. So if you have annual goals, for example, you might have promised yourself, a fabulous holiday or dinner out or something even, simpler like your favorite perfume, bottle of your favorite perfume. The point I'm making is that you're putting the result way into the future. You're going to celebrate in the future. Yet the big goals, the big milestones, we hit them because of the small things that we do, the small tasks and actions, the tiny steps that we take. And that's why it's so important that you recognize them and celebrate them. Because they create momentum, because they boost your confidence, because they play a massive part in your success. And it's too easy to overlook them. And when we're on that constant hamster wheel of doing, and I've done that, so what's next? I've completed that task, what's next? We take the joy out of running our businesses. We put up pressure on ourselves to keep moving forward. But when we stop to celebrate those small steps, those tiny wins, the movement still happens, but it happens with more ease. It might also help you just to slow down a little bit. Because when you're rushing forward to the next thing, you're not experiencing the journey. And if you've been following me for a while, you've watched any of my videos or read any of my blogs, you'll know I'm all about enjoying the journey because that is key, or one of the keys to our success. We need to experience it, fully experience it, because that's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we develop. So too often we don't stop and celebrate the small things we do. We put great emphasis on the final outcome, the thing that's happening in the future. But if you're really honest with yourself, and I've alluded to this already, in the future, I've said it several times, and I apologize for repeating myself. Big wins are fantastic. Hitting our goals, whether they're financial goals quarterly or annually, getting projects over the line, bringing in new clients, all of that is all wonderful. But those Larger achievements. I was going to say huge achievements, but those larger achievements, those bigger goals, they don't happen overnight. And that's why, or another reason why it's so important that you celebrate the small wins because they're built, those larger achievements, those bigger accomplishments, they're built on the small steps that you take. Often the countless small steps that you overlook, that you don't actually put importance on because it's just what you're doing, it's just your day-to-day stuff, it's just what you needed to do. But they mattered. Every email you sent, every client that you followed up, it matters. Every action that you take, it all adds up. But what can happen because we're so focused on the next step, the next action, we rarely pause to reflect or celebrate what we've already done. And I'm saying we've already done because I know that I have done this. But here's why it's important that you celebrate those small wins and the power within them. If you haven't already decided that they're pretty awesome, they remind us of the progress that we are making, even when it feels slow or it feels like nothing's happening. They give us that extra boost of confidence. It shows us that we are making progress towards our larger goals, our vision. It's like you giving yourself a little cheer. And who doesn't like being cheered on? Who doesn't like a round of applause for doing something really well? And each win, no matter how small, fuels the next step. It creates the energy for the next step. It might even open up the path or show you new opportunities or possibilities in your business. How exciting is that? So, how do we find time, take time to celebrate these incredible small wins? How do we make it something that we do? The good news is I have a really simple tip for you today. Yep, no big strategies, no big plans for you today, just one simple tip. I want you at the end of every day that you are at your desk, I want you to stop and I want you to acknowledge and celebrate one thing that you have done. So, this one thing might be super tiny. It might be something larger, like landing a client, but it's so important that you stop and take a moment to celebrate the accomplishment, the thing that you have done or achieved. You might do this in your diary. So I have a paper planner and there is space at the bottom. It's not for this purpose, but I have space at the bottom where I can write down one thing that I have accomplished. Yes, there are things I've already ticked off. Yes, I will have followed the plan. But just taking that moment to go, okay, what am I really proud of achieving today? Or what did I get off or get over the line or off my list and over the line that I've been putting off? It's an opportunity to just reflect on the day and celebrate one thing. Now, you can celebrate more than one thing, but starting with one is a really great way of getting into a practice of celebrating your accomplishments, no matter how small. You might decide to have or to get yourself a lovely little notebook to do this. All I would say is if you're going to use a separate notebook, so not incorporating this into your planning structure or into your diary or something that you're already using, please make sure that you still give it the value. It doesn't get forgotten. And there is a chance when you have another booklet or another notebook that you're going to use, that it'll get forgotten. So if you can incorporate this practice into something that you're already using. It's why the planner works really well for me, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be looking at planning my tomorrow. So I'm absolutely in that planner. Now, this one thing doesn't have to be massive, okay? And I keep talking about these small wins. So it could be that you solved a problem in your business. It could be that you solved a problem for your client. It could be that you finally picked up the phone and made that appointment. It could be an email that you have been putting off sending. It could be that you stuck to your plan or drank 5 glasses of water today. It could be that you gave yourself permission to have lunch. So don't necessarily look for the big things. And that you will have days where it might just feel like, let's take an admin day, for example. So it might be that you're really working in the business, that you're doing the day-to-day stuff. Well, you can still celebrate that, and you should. This is about honoring the things that you've done. This is about honoring the time that you have given those things. So this is something that you can do at the end of each day and write one thing down. Then at the end of your week, I want you to take 5 minutes, grab a coffee, maybe sit in your favorite chair, snuggled in a blanket. It's a bit cold here in the UK at the moment, hence the blanket reference. But find somewhere that you can sit and just give yourself that moment to think about your week and write down 3 things you have accomplished. Now, you might be looking at the screen right now and be saying, but haven't I already done this, Lindsey? In some ways, you have been doing it every day because you've been writing one thing down. But this is about giving yourself another opportunity to celebrate the steps, the small wins, another opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the progress that you have made over the week, another chance to pause, reflect, and celebrate. And if you're like me and can easily forget what it is that you did, that small win that you wanted to celebrate, you wrote them down on a daily basis. It's a win-win. Not only do you get to celebrate everything twice, but if you're like me and perhaps have forgotten what you had for lunch, let alone what you did on Monday, it now being Friday, for example, you can go back to your notebook or to your planner or diary where you've been keeping a note of those wins. Because success isn't just about the big stuff, the big goals, the targets, the dreams. It's the small things that you do, sometimes on a daily basis, but the small actions and tasks that you accomplish that move you towards the bigger vision or dream, that move you towards the annual goals, that help you to achieve those goals. I'd love to know what you would like to celebrate today. Drop it in the comments. Is there something that you would like to celebrate? Let's embrace this journey together and celebrate every victory, no matter how small. And remembering the moments, the progress that you have started to make towards your vision and success. Okay. Thank you for joining me and giving up a little bit of your time today. If something has resonated with you, please do tell me below. I don't just want to be celebrating with you. And by the way, when I celebrate client wins or small steps and progress and victories, I always do a little happy dance. So give me a reason to happy dance today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you are notified by the YouTube fairies when the next one drops. Perhaps you can share it with someone who you know needs to hear this message today. Until then, next time, don't just chase the goals. Celebrate all the tiny steps along the way.